Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the crypto.
Blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you, worldwide, I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
BlackRock, the most powerful asset manager in the world with a $10 trillion portfolio, is investing in cryptocurrency.
This is not going to be an easy task. Capital is moving, and it's going to move very rapidly. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement.
Do not be fooled. Don't let Larry Fink's friends go on TV and convince you not to buy this time around. While Hillary and friends continue to sow fear, uncertainty, and doubt about crypto into the minds of the general public, BlackRock has been forced to disclose that they're into it.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. I mean, the transformation, think about it, instantaneous settlement, bonds and stock, no middlemen. We're going to bring down fees even more dramatically. As for me, I don't have to vote on any shares anymore because the beneficial owner will do all the voting.
And by the way, this isn't the first time he's said this. Larry Fink has been getting more and more vocal on this.
This is one of the reasons why I'm focused on the whole idea of blockchain for securities. I look forward to the day when we could tokenize stocks and bonds, that every stock and every bond we could identify immediately who is the beneficial owner. And this is why we're working on it. And every beneficial owner, from an individual to an institution, have the ability to vote, to democratize every single vote. And that's where we want to take this, and we're leading that effort. Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that. I do believe that.
Because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created it. Its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
I want to ask a completely different question for you, Tom, because he's our overall ETF maven here. We have seen a spate of new Bitcoin ETF offerings recently, including from BlackRock. Even though everybody knows the SEC and Gary Gensler is completely hostile to the idea, and everybody said, well, they're going to say no to a Bitcoin ETF, just like they said no to everybody else. But I'm wondering why now? What does BlackRock think they're going to get out of this effort?
You can't get away from your favorite subject here, can you?
People ask me about it, and I don't have an easy answer for it. I always think I'm missing something here.
I think you're right. I think your sniffer
You think I'm
usually
missing
is
something?
No. I think you're onto something. I think your sniffer's always really pretty good, Bob. If BlackRock all of a sudden has filed for a Bitcoin ETF that's not futures based, it's spot Bitcoin,
Right.
okay? And Gensler said, no way, that's not going to happen. But at the same time, they're bringing together some pretty good partners from a custody standpoint. They've got Bank of New York Mellon, they've got Coinbase,
Right.
They've got an agreement, a surveillance agreement with NASDAQ to help with the security aspect of it. So they're trying to show the SEC that they're putting all the safety provisions in place to give them the confidence, to give them that acceptance of their application. I think the big thing we know, as Gensler said, we're not going to do anything there unless we have the exchanges regulated, and Coinbase is not regulated.
But that's my question. Do you think this is going to change their mind? I can't without the clear regulatory authority, and they're not getting a bill through Congress. So now he's just resorted to essentially suing everybody. He's trying to regulate essentially by filing complaints.
Yeah.
I don't see how this changes.
If anybody can get it done, would you bet against BlackRock?
No.
You know, they're the behemoth, right? They're the.
That's why I'm thinking. I still don't quite get.
Yeah.
How are they going to change his mind?
I mean, if they can partner with Coinbase and say, look, you agree to get regulated, what would that do to your business? Imagine institutional investments, just 1% allocation to Coinbase, and what that would mean. We're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people like you that are saying, is this finally the time? Is it going to happen?
We're going to follow this very carefully, folks, because, again, they're not going to waste their time.
Yeah.
Trust me, BlackRock isn't, if they don't think they have some chance
Sure.
of doing something here.
They're not going to waste their time if they don't think they have something. Well, that time is here. That time has come. That time has passed. The spot Bitcoin ETFs have been approved. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Saturday morning public crypto talk for ILCA. My name is Brandon Ivy. I'm the founder and CEO of Ivy League Crypto Academy. We teach crypto education. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, share information for educational, training, and entertainment purposes only. And it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. And then we're going to have a very busy morning today. We've got this crypto talk that is open and public to everybody. We're streaming on all the Facebook groups, YouTube, and Twitter. And then at the top of the hour, I'm doing a very special broadcast about Bitcoin halving. Most people, even in crypto, don't fully understand or even have a basic understanding of what it is, why it's important, why it's celebrated every 4 years like it's a presidential election. So we're going to go over the basics, a deep dive into it, and it's going to be the first of a series of live talks that I'm going to be doing on Bitcoin halving as we get closer and closer to April. And problem though, that's not open to the public. It is only for those who have taken advantage of the Everything ILCA January promo challenge right now. One time $99 gets you everything that my company offers for the month of January. So if you have not done that, then it is not too late for you to register so that you can be a part of that today. Let me see that. Put it. Yep, right there. It's not too late for you to register. I should have that as a. Yeah, that'll work. So that's going to happen at the top of the hour, $99. And it also gets you VIP access to all of my 5-day challenges for the rest of the year. 10 days from now is the next 5-day challenge that we have coming up, which will be the first one of 2024. The first 5-day challenge is going to be all new courses you haven't seen before. That's covering the new ones that I just made this year with Web 3.0, tokenization, and artificial intelligence. So that's going to be, we're going to cover those courses on the very first 5-day challenge of the year. So welcome everybody. Let's see, let me give a shout out to those who have typed their name. I see Clairvaux Albert from Connecticut. Good morning, good morning. Facebook user from Richmond, Virginia. Gina Muhammad from Philadelphia. Marnita Casa from Colorado. Leonard Long, that's right, it pays to be in the inner circle. Nathan Hansberger, good morning. Facebook user saying good morning all. I see Demetrius Turner from Texas. Joyce Easley, happy Saturday. See Gold Reserve Group from Toronto, Canada. Leonard Long, there you go. Feel sorry for those that bought into Bitcoin. Hey, if you're in the inner circle, you knew exactly what to do. Because I'm going to tell you guys what I did. I tethered my Bitcoin and Ethereum after I took some positions. See, we've got Facebook user from Colorado. Facebook user, St. Petersburg, Florida. See, Yashika Hawkins Anderson from Columbus, Georgia. Melanie from Chicago. Tammy Gully. Nafisa Aziz from Greensboro, North Carolina. Kenny Taylor from Los Angeles. See who else we have here. Facebook user from Utah. And Neil Brooks. Sonia Elaine Barnes. Good morning, good morning. Facebook user from the ATL. See, morning everyone. Facebook user. My man, Michael Pendleton from Maryland. Good morning. Another Facebook user from saying for everyone. All right. Let's get this one. There we go. All right. So what happened this week in the news? Well, we've got this weekend. We've got the last weekend before the Iowa caucuses is taking place, and it's going to happen on Monday. They're calling it the coldest day in a decade or so. Negative 20-something degrees out there while people are going to be trying to get themselves voting out there. Can you imagine going out there at 2, 3, 4 in the morning? Then we've got, negative 20 degrees. Unbelievable. Then we have the last presidential debate that took place. Then let's see other news. I'm going to get to the ETF in a moment. The United States and the UK have gone on the offensive against the rebels down in Yemen, backed by Iran. And we've got the congressmen throwing a fit about it, saying that you can't go to war without our approval. But they didn't declare war. Then we have, let's see, Israel and Hamas, obviously. Then we have the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Big news. Oh, before that, the SEC got hacked. And we have Congress is asking to investigate how in the world their Twitter account got hacked because it manipulated the market. And then we had the market rising up in anticipation of the Bitcoin ETF. And I predicted it last year. I said that the SEC would announce all of the Bitcoin ETFs at the same time. They weren't going to do one by one. And that it's all because of BlackRock. All because of BlackRock. So that's why I played those videos at the beginning. So you can see how BlackRock started off talking about, oh, we don't have nothing to do with Bitcoin and nobody wants to do with Bitcoin, to now they're leading the way. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen, and we're going to read the charts to see what the charts are doing and cover some of the news. So let's share screen. Right there. All right. So let's see what's going on in the crypto market today. So the market cap is at 1.76 trillion, down 3.8%. Now, those of you in the inner circle, last week we We covered how to read this chart. That means 3.8% of money left the entire crypto space. Bitcoin dominance, look at this, it's falling. Before the ETF, it was over 50%. Now we're down to 47.7. Ethereum, though, has risen. This was in the 16% range last week. Now it's at 17.3. So it looks like the biggest winner of the Bitcoin ETFs has been Ethereum as far as the top 10 tokens. Ethereum. Now, last week I took some positions. This is why I say it pays to be in the inner circle. We were reading the charts and looking at the news, and it told me, yeah, I need to get some more Ethereum. And I did. And I went up like 14% on my money by doing that. Instead of getting, I didn't get Bitcoin. I got Ethereum instead. The Bitcoin, though, went up slightly and then drastically came down. So one thing I had an idea, because we were trying to predict which way will the markets go. And I said, I'm going to stick with tradition, history. When the CBOE and the CME brought their futures online December 17th, 2017, everybody thought because new institutional money was coming in, that market was going to go like this. It did the opposite. It went like this. For one reason, wealthy people said, wait a minute, all the broke people got Bitcoin at $20,000. I'm not buying it at $20,000. So they manipulated and shorted the market all the way down to $3,000 and they bought the dip. So I was inclined, if I had to make a prediction, that it would follow suit, just like what happened in 2017. And that's what we're seeing. The Bitcoin ETFs goes live. All of a sudden, within 48 hours, $2 billion comes into the space. However, instead of the market going like this, it's doing the opposite. Bitcoin is down 2.1% on the week after having a spike earlier this week. And the market is being manipulated. Wealthy people aren't going to buy it at the high. What's rule number one in trading? You buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. All the uneducated people got hyped up off the Bitcoin ETF and were buying it at its height at $46,000. Yo, I better get in on it now. And the market went like this. So I'm not surprised at all. And I tethered before it dropped like that. So now all I'm doing is I'm waiting for when I believe we're going to be at the bottom out point, and then I'm going to buy right back in. Now, when I sold my coins, I did not sell them and pull them off the market. I just tethered them. And so whenever I'm ready, I'll just go right back in. Now I'm also starting to see a lot of talking going on between the big boys, from Jamie Dimon to Larry Fink. They're all talking again. Never listen to what they say. Follow what they do. But when they talk, that means they are either doing or about to do something. So I'm reading in between the lines. We're going to go see what we can find in a moment about that. But we got Bitcoin at 42,900, down 3.1. Ethereum is down 4. BNB down 1.7. Solana's down 3.5. Ripple's down 2.6. Cardano's down 3.5. Avalanche is down 4.1. Oh, here's the diamond in the rough. This is what we look for. Tron. Tron went in the opposite direction of everybody else. Did anybody get or see any news about Tron lately? Why did they jump 9.6% on the week or 6.9% in 24 hours? Look at that. That's the unicorn right there. Who else? Bitcoin Cash dropped 7.8. Aptos jumped. Here's another one. Aptos and Tron both heavily in the green while everybody else is in the red. Another one, Celestia, up 11.8%. Okay, so let's see. Celestia should be the top winner. The best performers over the last 24 hours is Celestia, 11.8. Aptos is up 7. Tron, 6.9. Sats Ordinals, 6.5. Sui, 6.5. Chili's, Ordi, Oh, that's one that we're watching in our inner circle group. Ordi, Say, Internet Computer. Okay. Worst performers: Lido DAO, Optimism, Arbitrum, Ethereum Name Service, Bitcoin Cash, Immutable, Oasis Network, The Graph, Bitcoin SV, Mantle, Bonk, Ethereum Classic. But look, wow, Ethereum Classic is still up 44.7% on the week. Litecoin, Flow, Theta Network, Frax Ether, Chainlink. Okay. So we got to watch to see how this new week comes up tomorrow around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern, when we got to see when the Asian markets wake up, how they respond to start off the new week. So I'll be paying attention to that tomorrow night. All right, first up in the news cycle I've got here is BlackRock. Well, wait, which one is this? Bitcoin is bigger than any government, says BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Those of you who came on early, I played the video. Larry Fink is one of the most powerful shadow men in the world. He is in direct and indirect control of over $15 trillion. You have to understand, the most powerful person isn't the person that has the most money. It's the person who influences the most money. And he's one of them. He influences over million, trillion dollars. BlackRock itself is 10 trillion of it. Where does the other 5 trillion come from? It's his competitors that follow everything BlackRock does, like Fidelity and Franklin Templeton. These companies did not even think of doing a Bitcoin ETF until BlackRock did, because they want to stay relevant. So when he says something, we pay attention. It doesn't mean we take whatever he's saying as fact yet, because he'll say one thing and do something different. You always got to remember that. He'll say one thing and do something different. So what is he saying now? In a Fox Business interview, the former Bitcoin skeptic, he was never a Bitcoin skeptic. He only said that publicly. The former Bitcoin skeptic defended the cryptocurrency as a shield against government manipulation and economic stability. And that's right, Vanguard did go the other way, but I don't think they're going to stay the other way. Vanguard is trying to play the role of Blockbuster Video, while BlackRock is being Netflix. Who won that battle? BlackRock CEO Larry Fink fully shed his crypto skeptic shell today and defended Bitcoin as a check against authoritarian governments. During a day-long media tour, Fink stopped by Fox Business to discuss this landmark week in which the SEC approved 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. Fink hailed Bitcoin as a store of value and a tool to thwart economic government manipulation. Let's be clear. If you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, and maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it. If you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits, you could say this is a great potential long-term store of value. He's absolutely right. His stance is a far cry from where he stood in 2017 when Fink joined JP Morgan CEO and longtime Bitcoin critic Jamie Dimon. Now, here's the funny thing about this. They just have a partnership now. BlackRock is using Chase or JP Morgan Bank for their crypto as well as Coinbase. But in 2017, both of them was running their mouth against Bitcoin. Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. While Fink acknowledged Bitcoin's use in illicit activity today, he said his view of Bitcoin began turning around in the midst of the pandemic, telling the broadcaster that there is also much opportunity in Bitcoin. I came around to it and around to a different interpretation 3 years ago, Fink said in an interview with Fox Business anchor Charles Gasparino. There's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. Bitcoin is a great store, and this is where you can debate if it is a good store. He's not debating. He bet $10 trillion on it. Given his change of heart, Fink said the issue now is whether people will believe that Bitcoin can be an asset that can cross borders. He doesn't believe that. He doesn't care what people believe. To guys like him, people believe what they tell them to believe. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I just want to, you got to put yourself in their minds. They are the masters of the universe, okay? And they know they hold the keys to the kingdom. The people are going to do or go whatever direction they move them in. So I don't just read things to read. No, I try to break things down to understand. Read between the lines. Despite the collapse of FTX, Fink said Bitcoin is becoming more legitimate. I think the advent of Bitcoin ETFs is an example that we're legitimizing it. We're creating more safety, he noted. On Wednesday, the US SEC approved the first set of spot Bitcoin ETFs, including ETFs from BlackRock, VanEck, Hashdex, Grayscale, and Bitwise. The price of Bitcoin neared $49,000 on Thursday, before falling to $43,000 as the excitement around the ETF approvals calmed. As of this writing, Bitcoin is hovering just above $42,300 according to CoinMarketCap. Now, I always said I believe, because we also have the Bitcoin halving coming up, and I'm doing that training in 30 minutes. I believe that Bitcoin has to drop, a massive drop, at least one more time before we see the massive rocket ship take off. My number is 15,000. And I know that looks crazy with Bitcoin being in the 40,000 range. It didn't look crazy when it was at 28,000 a couple of months ago. But I believe it's got to get down to that range at least one more time. How will that happen? What can cause it to happen? Oh, there's many different things. One, I believe, was this spot Bitcoin ETF. The wealthy people want to short it so that they can buy the dip. But also we have a lot of geopolitical things going on. We've got an election year. We've got a divided Congress. We've got a divided American population. We've got wars. We've got rumors of war. We've got an uncertain economic system, even though the economy looks on paper, the economy is doing very well right now. We've had the longest run of unemployment at this lowest level since Vietnam? However, the current administration is not getting credit for any of that. We had the highest stock market rise in history because the people don't feel it, even though they're spending money. Consumer spending index is at an all-time high. People are spending money left and right. But the average person still feels, and if you guys, you follow my talks when I talk about The Secret, facts don't matter. Your emotions, how you feel, how you vibrate is far more important than what the facts are. And if you feel a certain way, even if it's opposite of what reality actually is, the way you feel is reality. So the people feel that things are not going well. And so you put all of that together, we are in a recipe for disaster that can cause the markets to go crazy. So with us just attacking the Houthi in Yemen, And in Iran, they're burning the American flag. I mean, that's that they always do that, but now it's picked up. Now we're opening up more fronts of conflict. If I was China, this is the best time ever to make a move. And what do I mean by that? How'd you go from that? What are you talking about China for? China has one goal. It is their manifest destiny. They call it all under heaven. If you understand the history of China about unifying the land, at one point there was 8 kingdoms. There's a good movie with Jet Li. I think it was called Hero. That's a good movie. It's about the sacrifices that needed to be made to unify all of China, and they call it all under heaven. Right now, they don't believe they're unified. There's 2 districts, Hong Kong, which they can manage, but Taiwan. They call it a one China policy. After World War II, China was an ally of the United States during the war against Japan, the Axis, and against communist Soviet Union. After the war, the US-backed leadership of China was overthrown by the Communist Party in China that was being backed by the Soviet Union. That Democratic Party fled China to the island of Taiwan, set up shop there, and they've been there ever since in an attempt to claim independence. And the United States has been supporting them ever since World War II, or, well, the revolution, the communist revolution there. China wants Taiwan back. And this has been the source of the conflict for the last 40 plus years, the strife between the United States. So if there was ever a time, you got to think like what do you call the word? A strategy general. If there was ever a time to strategically make a move, if I was China, I would do it now. Presidential elections coming up. Donald Trump's going crazy out there. The United States is bogged down with Ukraine and now Israel. The American public is tired of it. They're like, yeah, leave them alone. We want America first. We don't want to be involved in these foreign wars anymore. This is the time to make a move. So we don't know what one thing, and I don't think it's going to be one point. It's going to be many different things coalescing that's going to cause the market to drop. And it's not just going to be the crypto market. The entire world's financial system is going to have a dip, a big dip. All right, let's keep going here. I go off on tangents. Give a little bit of history lesson. In the separate interview, Friday interview with CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin, Fink said he seized value in an Ethereum ETF. Oh, now this is dangerous. This is dangerous. There's no way under current circumstances that the SEC will allow an Ethereum ETF. They can allow a Bitcoin one because they have already publicly stated that Bitcoin is not a security. But an Ethereum, that goes against all of their lawsuits against everybody right now. But if Larry Fink is talking about it, he's putting the gauntlet down. If he's able to pressure them, it will change everything about the SEC. Especially with this presidential election coming in, will Gary Gensler get fired? Will he be replaced? And if he's replaced, by who? Do you think it matters whether it's a Republican Party or a Democrat Party that will be president? Because the Biden administration is continuing the same policy from the Trump administration when it comes to crypto. They're even more strict about it. Trump already publicly stated Bitcoin is fake money. Cash is king. Now, do you believe he still believes that today? But here's the thing. You all know how Donald Trump operates. Has he ever, and this is a legitimate question, has he ever backtracked on anything he said? Even if he realizes later it's wrong, he doubles down on the things he says because he believes he's never wrong. So if he's already publicly stated that Bitcoin is fake money, do you ever think that Donald Trump's going to turn around and say, yeah, Bitcoin's legitimate? Hell no. So what's interesting, while the Republican Party is being more pro-crypto than the Democratic Party, Donald Trump himself, the head of the Republican Party, has been quiet about anything crypto over the last year and a half. He refuses to talk about it because he knows that it's not popular within his own base to go against crypto. So he avoids it by just not mentioning it at all. But like I said, he never backtracks on anything he's already stated, because that would be an admission that he was wrong, and he will never admit to being wrong. Therefore, when he's in office, if he comes in office again, he's not going to backtrack and do something different than he's already done before. You guys let me know if my assessment is incorrect, whether you like Donald Trump or don't. You know, you can classify how he operates. So this is going to be interesting to see. Larry Fink is kind of forcing the issue on Ethereum. I see value in having an Ethereum ETF. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards what word? Tokenization. See, Larry Fink's saying this is just the beginning. This is his real goal, which is why I wrote a lesson, 15 videos on tokenization, and we'll be covering some of them in the 5-day challenge. But if you took advantage of the everyday ILCA January promo, you have access to it right now, the tokenization courses. This is the future. And he said it in the video. One day, all financial markets, everything is going to be tokenized. So do you think that you might want to know what this is? Know what it encompasses? Know what it can cover, what it can do? If one of the richest, most powerful people on the planet has his eye on tokenization, yeah, I think we need to know what this is as well. So Fink, however, demurred when asked about future crypto-based ETFs like Ethereum and more specifically XRP, declining to comment. So they're already making moves on this. They're already making moves. I can't, he said, and you don't want me to. Yeah, this is next. They're not playing. The public is, what we see in the public is like 10 moves behind what they're actually doing behind the scenes. How many of you know that Jamie Dimon has already created a new company to take advantage of the metaverse in digital transactions through crypto, Bitcoin, and digitization? How many of you know that? The name of the company, well, I'll let you guys, Inner Circle, you should know. Type in the chat box what the name of that company is. So to the public, he's saying one thing. Behind the scenes, he's already created a company for this. Only one person knows the name? Onyx. There you go, Onyx. Look him up. I did a reading last year where I read that Onyx paper, 17 pages. And they acting like they're the ones who created the metaverse. All right, next one up here. BlackRock CEO doubts Bitcoin will ever become a currency. Okay, since he said this, it's the opposite. He's up to something. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink suggests that Bitcoin may not become the go-to currency for everyday spending, and asserts that he hasn't contemplated the potential price trajectory of Bitcoin. That's a lie. Don't insult our intelligence. You didn't become the head of a $10 trillion agency by accident. You don't create a spot Bitcoin ETF if you haven't already contemplated the price trajectory of Bitcoin. That is an insult of our intelligence. He knows exactly where he thinks Bitcoin is going to go, or he wouldn't have done it. 2024, I have made a resolution to be more calm. To not let things work me up so much, because this year is going to be a lot of things that can work me up. This is a presidential election year. Y'all were following me. You remember how I was back in 2020. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be good this year. So I'm trying to be calm. But when I see a blatant lie like this, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink doubts the practicality of using Bitcoin for everyday transactions, reiterating it should be publicly perceived as purely an asset class. Yeah, that's wait until he realizes what like dark fusion technology and others are doing on the Bitcoin blockchain. He's setting things up for Ethereum. That's why he brought up the Ethereum, because right now, Bitcoin is considered digital gold. Ethereum and its entire network is considered for daily transactions. So that's what he's setting it up for. So in an interview on January 11th, Fink stated his belief in Bitcoin, viewing it as an alternative form of wealth storage rather than a contender to replace national currencies. And that is actually true. Under the current circumstances, I don't believe it's ever going to be a currency. I believe it's an asset class. However, he does believe that central bank digital currencies will come to fruition in the future. I agree with that. I think we're going to create digital currencies. We're going to use technology for it. We're going to use a blockchain. Goes back to what did I discover in 2017 in May? Blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet today, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, trust it or not. Your opinion of it is irrelevant. You guys have heard me say that for years. Fast forward to 2024, one of the world's most powerful men just said it. We're going to use a blockchain. This is why critics can't touch me. People will be critical of crypto. I'll come with the receipts. According to recent data from Cointelegraph, over 100 countries are exploring the development of CBDCs, while 39 countries have either a pilot, proof of concept, or already launched CBDC initiatives. Yet when questioned about his stance on ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood's most recent Bitcoin valuation predictions, ranging from 600,000 to 1 million, Fink indicated price wasn't his primary concern right now. Anybody in the world believe that? You have a $10 trillion asset fund, and out of your mouth, price isn't a primary concern. It's your only concern. Your job is returns for your investors. You sleep about it. You think about it. You eat it. That's not my primary concern right now. I haven't even thought about it. That's like a kid saying 5 days before Christmas, I haven't thought about my presents that I'm going to get on Christmas. I haven't even thought about it yet. You know, whatever happens, happens. Gaslighting, lying. I haven't even thought about it, Fink stated, explaining, you know what, let's just go back. I'm only going to play the first minute of this again because he did this before. Take a look again at this. This is the first minute of this.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the
But blockchain is in crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time.
Follow what they do, not what they say. He says here, I think if it gets even close to that high, gold will represent even a bigger value. He's lying. And let's be clear, if you think it's digital gold, there's going to be a reference point between gold and Bitcoin. Meanwhile, in a separate interview with Fox Business on the same day, Fink clarified that the Bitcoin ETF will contribute to legitimizing an industry that has faced skepticism from the beginning. Yeah, like you, but he was never a skeptic. I said it before, I believe Larry Fink knows more about crypto than I do. The advent of the Bitcoin ETF is an example that we're legitimizing it. Who's he talking about when he says we? He ain't talking about me and you. He's talking about the elite. The advent of the Bitcoin ETF is an example that we're legitimizing it. He uses it again. We're creating more safety. Trust us. We've been running the world for the hundreds of years. We got this. This follows news on January 10th that the United States SEC has approved BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF application and 10 others to launch in the country. Since its Bitcoin ETF approval, BlackRock has a record of 576 ETF approvals to just one rejection. Can you imagine being a baseball player? You know, if you bat 300, you're considered you got a spot on a squad. What if you was 575 to 1? One strikeout, 576 home runs. It's crazy. All right. Next year I got Bitcoin price sells off after ETF approval. Have investors turned bearish? No. They're manipulating the market. Bitcoin price dropped by nearly 7% just 2 days after the spot ETF approvals, like I predicted. Bitcoin price dropped by 6.8% between January 11th and January 12th, confirming bears' theory of a sell the news style event occurring after the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. The much anticipated event ensued after a 75% rally the 90 days leading up to it. What did I say in Inner Circle last week? Remember 2017, I showed you the graph. November 2017, Bitcoin was at 5,000, and within weeks, it went from 5,000 to 20,000 the day the futures went live. And then what happened? It dropped like a rock. So I said, I believe same thing's going to happen here. You're going to see a rise up when the ETF happens. Then when the ETF happens, you're going to see it come down. Let me know in the chat box if I was wrong. If you guys remember me saying that, this is why I made so much money, because I figured, I could time these things. The much anticipated event ensued after a 75% rally in the 90 days leading to the initial trading on January 11th. This partially explains the lack of excitement and the subsequent price correction down to 43,180. Traders are now questioning whether investors are becoming bearish. No, they're not. They're not. They're just they don't want to buy it at your price. After multiple attempts failed to break above 47,000. On one hand, there is some rationale behind the fear, meaning market makers and whales that tried to front run the spot ETF issuers by buying ahead of the launch might be forced to sell at a loss if this hypothesis is valid. Furthermore, Bitcoin miners might feel pressure to sell some of their holdings, given that the halving is less than 100 days away. Regardless of how profitable a Bitcoin mining operation is, A 50% cut in the block subsidy will significantly affect margins. I gotta say, I like when people say this. Yeah, Brandon, you were right. And yeah, I said it. Yeah, because sometimes my wife says I'm never right, so I gotta take that when I see it. Kevin, the Bitcoin halving meeting is at 12 in 10 minutes, and that's going to be in our Inner Circle Zoom. So I'll be closing this up in the next 5 minutes or so. Regardless of how profitable a Bitcoin mining operation is, a 50% cut in the block subsidy will significantly affect margins. According to Bitcoin News, miners' outflow hit a 6-year high as $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was sent to the exchanges. However, as CryptoQuant data shows, a handful of other peaks in Bitcoin transfer from miners coincided with price bottoms in June 2022, November 2022, March 2023, and August 2023. There is no rationale for a relationship between Bitcoin miners' net flows and the short-term Bitcoin price, and the same chart also displays multiple instances of large transfers with no meaningful price impact. In other words, what they're saying is a lot of the big whales moved their Bitcoin onto the exchanges, and it seemed like more Bitcoin is flooding the market, which the price comes down when that happens. But it's a setup. How can they manipulate? If $2 billion came into the space, why didn't the price go up? Because the people who are already holding the crypto moved more crypto onto the markets to sell, but haven't actually sold. They just flooded the market with more Bitcoin. Price comes down. It's classic. All right, I don't need to read all of that. The last one I had was, this caught my eye because I represent Vara, dark fusion technology, metaverse, cosmetics is the future. The reason why JP Morgan created Onyx. Nike will go way deeper into video game fashion amid NFT push. Fortnite has made $24 billion off of their players buying skins, cosmetics, fashion items. I asked my son when he comes to me with $20 to put on Fortnite, what are you spending it on? Oh, there's a new avatar skin I want. It's Spider-Man. It's Eminem. They're spending money on this stuff. And Nike, they tried this out last year with the shoe in Fortnite. Anybody that participated in one season of Fortnite got a free digital version of a Nike shoe. They then can take that code to a third-party site that Nike had to purchase the NFT for like $20. Do you know how much money they made? More than $50 million off of doing that one time. So now they're getting bigger. Nike says it will continue to expand its video game wearables through its .swoosh platform, but it's unclear if there will be more NFTs. Yes, there will. Sports apparel giant Nike's blockchain and digital wearables division Swoosh said Friday that it will push further into the video game space in the coming year, but it's unclear if its future gaming activations will necessarily involve NFTs. A virtual product's value should be based on the enjoyment it gives you when using it to express yourself or unlocking access. These kids today, they care more about how they look in the virtual world than how they look in real life. I drop my kid off at school, and if I'm not seeing little prostitutes running around, they're wearing pajamas to school. I'm like, it's 85 degrees, 95 degrees outside, and kids have on hoodies. It's 20 degrees outside, and they got on t-shirts. I'm like, what the hell? When I was in school, how we dressed was everything. How we look. But when it comes to the virtual space, they spare no expense to how they look on social media. They got to look good for the gram. They got to look good on TikTok. They got to look good in their avatars and their games, and they're spending hella money on it. Nike's picking this up. They're digital wearables. It's all for clout. That's what my son says. It's for clout. I said, okay. All right, I'm going to save this one for Monday. I want to really get into this on Monday's Crypto Talk. All right, so that brings me to the end of our Saturday morning Crypto Talk, because we are about to get into something new. And if you want to participate, go right here, ilca.digital/2024 and beyond. Because in 5 minutes, I'm going to be doing a special broadcast on the Bitcoin halving. This is a year you need to know what it is so that you can get yourself prepared and know what's coming, why it's important, and what you can do to be positioned. So that's going to be coming up in the next 5 minutes. It will be in our stop sharing screen. It will be in our Inner Circle Zoom link. So everybody that's in the Inner Circle that I do every morning is going to be on that Zoom link. So with that, thank you guys for this Saturday morning's Crypto Talk. We'll be back with Monday's Crypto Talk for our Inner Circle. And I will see you guys in 5 minutes. Take care. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.